Hello, dear friends. My name is Arvind Dian. I am studying in the 6th sem of the Civil Engineering branch. Today, I am discussing about the advantages and disadvantages of the steel structures. First, we will discuss about the advantages of the steel structures, in which the first one is lower is the project cost. Yes, steel structures remain the cost leader for majority of the construction projects. Comparative studies indicate that a structural steel forming system, including decking and fire protection, will typically cost 5% to 7% less than a concrete forming system on national basis. Yes, friends. Next, we are discussing about the high strength. Yes, this is the advantage that all other material talk about the high strength, but their strength is still less than the structural steel, even when enhanced by the steel reinforcing. Third one is recyclable. Structural steel is the most recycled material in our planet. Today, structural steel is made up of 88% of the recycled product is fully recyclable in the future and can be reused without further processing. You can see here recycling is done by these unwasted material into the productable form. Next one is ductility. Next one is ductility. Steel is ductile material, so steel can withstand extensive deformation without failure under the high tensile stresses. It gives warning before failure take place. Fifth one is durability. Steel frames that are used for the construction of the buildings and other infrastructures are made up of mild steel. The steel is very lasting and strong enough to carry the huge tons of weight for the many years without the need of any restoration or repair. Next one is flexibility. One of the great features of the steel frames is that they are flexible, meaning it can be arched as per the requirement specialization. Yes, friends, this helps to design steel structures in such a way that it can withstand an earthquake and heavy winds, especially in the case of tall towers or bridges which are made up of steels. You can see these are the advantages of the steel. Next one is temporary structures. Steel frames, the structures can be easily built with the help of various methods such as the bolting, welding and riveting. This reduces the time taken to make the temporary structures. We can see the structures which are formed by the steels. The aesthetic beauty. Structural steel sections can be bent and rolled to create the non-linear members to further enhance the aesthetic appearance of the structure. Now we will discuss about the disadvantages of the steel. The disadvantages are very less, and these are the maintenance of the cost of steel is very high due to the action of the rust in the steel. Expensive paints are required to renew the time to time so that resistance against severe condition are increases. Steel has very small resistance against the fire. Yes, friends, the steel has very small resistance against the fire if you compare to the concrete system. If you compare the concrete and the steel, the resistance to the fire is very small in the steel structures and almost from 700 to 600 to 700 uh, if you compare, what I am saying is the resistance to the fire is very small in the steels. Okay, almost from 600 to 700 celsius half of the steel strength is reduced. Okay, this much very low resistance is there for the steels. Steel cannot be molded any direction you want. It can only be used in the form in which the section originally exists. What I are saying is steel cannot be molded to any direction you want. Yes, steel cannot be molded. And if steel loses the ductility property, see friends, if the steel loses the ductility property, then the chances of the brittle fractures also increases. If there is very large variation in the tensile strength, then this leads to the steel to more tension due to which steel tension properties graphs falls down. This much is the advantages and disadvantages. Now it is time to recap all the advantages and disadvantages shortly. The first one is lower project cost. Second one is high strength. Third one is recyclable. Fourth one is ductility. Fifth one is durability. Sixth one is flexibility. Seventh one is temporary structures, aesthetic beauty, and disadvantages are first one is it is very maintenance of the cost of the structure is very high, and second one is resistance to the fire and is very small, and it cannot be molded to any direction, and ductile property lose the fracture increases, and tensile strength, the very large variation in the tensile strength may lead the more tension. This is what I am saying about the advantages and disadvantages. Thank you for watching the video.